How's it going, everyone? Paramount Cyclops here. Now, Trump has vowed to intervene in the Texas election lawsuit at the Supreme Court. In case you didn't know, Texas is suing several states, key battleground states, and it has been filed directly with the Supreme Court. Now, I'm going to read this. This is from Reuters. You can find it pretty much everywhere. You can find it on The Independent. You can find it on U.S. News. You can find it everywhere. Don't lock in on one article because, as I'll show you here in a second, there are always biases. So, let's read this from a factual part. Take your partisan hats off and look at it from a non-partisan part. Reuters. President Donald Trump on Wednesday vowed to intervene in a long-shot lawsuit by the state of Texas filed at the U.S. Supreme Court, trying to throw out voting results in 4 states he lost to President-elect Joe Biden, as he seeks to undo the outcome of the election. He's not seeking to actually undo the outcome of the election. I mean, obviously that's the end goal, yes. But at the moment, it's just being heard. At the moment, it's a struggle just to say, hey, there are questions. And why can't we even say there are questions and things need to be looked into? If we can't ask the question, then where are we? People are complaining, and there's video evidence. The lawsuit, announced on Tuesday by the Republican Attorney General of Texas, Ken Paxton, targeted the election battleground states of Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Trump has falsely claimed he won re-election and has made baseless allegations of widespread voting fraud. This phrase here I take extreme issue with. Baseless allegations of widespread voter fraud. How? We have video evidence of USB Gate. We have video evidence of Suitcase Gate. USB Gate, it was a woman. She palmed a USB. By her non-verbal communication, meaning the way she was moving her body and the way she was looking around, you can tell she was not supposed to be doing what she was doing. She was not nonchalant. She was very secretive of it. And then she has an accomplice come over to attempt to block view of the camera, but the camera was wide-angle camera, and you can see him stretch, and his jacket lifts up, exposing his pockets, and you can see around his left hip, her fingers open up as she drops the USB into his pocket. Very suspicious looking. Doesn't mean that it is absolutely suspicious and something absolutely nefarious is going on, but it has the appearance of something bad, so it needs to be investigated. Yes. The arena Suitcase Gate, they pulled ballots from under a table after they had made everybody go home, and then said that they didn't make people go home, but yet they clearly did. You can clearly see them on video. Video evidence. Walk over and tell everybody to go home. They leave. Half an hour later, they pull votes out and they start running votes through the machines when by law, according to a judge's order, they were not allowed to do that. So no matter what, right there, that raises questions. That means it should be looked at. If the Supreme Court of the United States doesn't look at this evidence, if they don't at least look at it, if they just dismiss it, then you're going to have fully half of America looking at it like, why didn't you even investigate it? They have to. There are too many questions. We cannot go through another 4 years of questions. We can't go through another 4 years of Russiagate and Russia conspiracy and Russia collusion. Only this time it's going to be voter collusion, voter conspiracy. We cannot do that. It must be investigated. And whether you're a Trump supporter or a Biden supporter, you want it investigated. Trump supporters for the obvious reasons. Biden supporters, that way if a Trump supporter says, hey, look, I think there were questions, you can say, hey, look, it was investigated to its fullest. It must be investigated. How can we have these questions? We can't. We have to investigate it. Trump provided no details on the nature of the intervention in the case that he was promising, including whether it would be his presidential campaign or the U.S. Justice Department that would take action. It should be the U.S. Justice Department. Trump's best bet is to take a hands-off approach and just observe. That way there's no possible way that there can be a appearance of impropriety. Nobody can look and say, well, Trump was over here. What was going on over here? See, everything is about questions. And if Trump put his hands on it and something nefarious happened, I would say, well, that would need to be investigated too. I am not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Biden supporter. I'm a supporter of equal application of the law. I'm a supporter of logic. I'm a supporter of looking at things from the outside, looking in and saying, does that make sense to you? Switch the roles. Reverse the roles. If it doesn't make sense one way, then it doesn't make sense the other way either. Officials from the 4 states at issue have called the lawsuit a reckless attack on democracy, while legal experts gave it little chance to succeed. It was filed directly with the Supreme Court rather than with a lower court, as is permitted for certain litigation between states. The problem is this: a reckless attack on democracy, not investigating very questionable acts on the very act that defines us as Americans, the right to vote, the right to decide who is governed over us. It is a unique position. We have the right to decide who governs over us. We don't live in a tyranny. We don't live in a kingship. We don't. We live in something where we get to choose who presides over us, and if we don't like who presides over us, then according to the Constitution, we have every right to say, no, we don't like you, we want someone else. So if there are questions on who we are electing to govern over us, those questions need to be addressed. It would be an attack on democracy for those questions to not be addressed, in my opinion. But your opinion counts. Your opinion matters. We need to all be informed. If we're all better voters, then we can all vote better, because we're all informed better. I love you guys. I will see you on the next one.